the deep blue glazing just a bit as she would say, "Your Uncle James is a nobleman, my dear, a very powerful man, a man with many responsibilities, but he will take care of us forever. He has his own family, so he can't come to us all that often, but it's the way things are and the way they will always be. But don't forget, he loves us both, and he won't ever desert us." And when she was 9 years old, her mother sent her to spend a fortnight with her Uncle James at his magnificent mansion called Chase Park, near Darlington in northern Yorkshire. She'd begged her mother to accompany her, but her mother had simply shaken her head, making her incredible golden curls tremble about her beautiful face, saying, "No, dear, your Uncle James' wife isn't fond of me. You keep away from her. Promise me you will. You have cousins there, and you will become friends with them. But stay away from Uncle James' wife. Do remember, love, never to speak about yourself. It's a boring thing, don't you think? Much better to keep secrets and be mysterious." She'd avoided the Countess of Chase with little difficulty, for the lady, once she'd seen her, had frozen her with a look of utter contempt, turned, and left the room. Neither she nor any of her cousins joined the Earl and his Countess in the grand dining room each evening, so avoiding the Countess in the evenings never came into it. Uncle James was different here in this mansion, with all its servants in their immaculate blue and green livery and shining buttons, than he'd been the other times she'd met him. There seemed to be servants everywhere, behind every door and just around every corner, always there, always looking but never speaking, except for Annie and the tweenie. Uncle James was quite attentive at Rosebud Cottage when he came to see her and her mother, but not here at this huge, sprawling edifice they called Chase Park. She frowned, wondering why he hadn't even hugged her. But he hadn't. He had called her into his library, a chamber that was nearly as large as her home. 3 of its very high walls were covered with bookcases, and there were ladders that stretched upward forever, and they moved on rollers around the room. Everything seemed heavy and dark, even the luxurious carpet beneath her feet. When she came in, she had seen nothing but deep shadows, for it was late afternoon and the curtains were nearly drawn. Then she'd seen her uncle and smiled. "Hello, Uncle James. Thank you for inviting me to stay with you." "Hello, my dear child. Come in, and I will tell you how you are to go along here." She was to call all his children cousin, but of course she knew that already, for she was a smart puss, wasn't she? She would take lessons with her cousins, she would watch them and copy their manners and their behavior, all except for her cousin Marcus, her uncle's nephew, who was currently visiting Chase Park. He was the devil's own son, Uncle James told her, and then he'd smiled, an odd smile that seemed at once resentful and proud. "Yes," he said again slowly, "the devil's own son, that's what my brother spawned. He's all of 14, nearly grown, and thus very dangerous. Don't follow him or your male cousins into mischief. Of course, it is likely that the boys will ignore you, for you're just a little girl." "I have another uncle?" she'd asked, eyes shining with excitement. He frowned and waved away her question. "Yes, but you are not to say anything to your cousin Marcus. Just be aware of how people conduct themselves. If they behave well, then you will emulate their behavior. If they don't, close your eyes and turn away. Do you understand?" She nodded. He came around from behind the huge desk and patted her on her head. "You will be a good girl, and I will allow you to visit me here once a year. Never speak of your mother or of me or of yourself. You are to say nothing about anything personal. But your mother told you this, didn't she?" "Yes, Uncle. She said I was to keep secrets, and the better I kept them, the more fun I should have, and you and she would be very proud of me." His mouth curved into a smile. "Trust best to make it into a game. Heed her and heed me. Go now and get to know your female cousins." He paused, then added, "They have been told to call you cousin as well." "But that is what I am, Uncle James." "Well, yes, there is that." She understood none of it, but she wasn't